2018, are you ready to rock? Is that the best you can do? Empower 2018, are you ready to rock? That's the Empower spirit I like to hear. Well, good morning and welcome to Empower. As you can tell, we're so excited to have you here. Now, for us, Empower is such an amazing experience because it celebrates each and every one of you. Look at the people around you. This is a true value of Empower. It's not just the classes. It's not just the special events. It's the connections you make and the people you meet. Now, we know you're here because you recognize the need for change and you see the part that Laserfiche can play in driving that change. Your vision, your innovation, your passion, that's what we seek to celebrate right here at Empower. Now, we know technology has changed a lot about how work gets done. Customers and citizens expect higher quality services delivered faster. Yet, we also know technology can't entirely solve the problems you face. That's because true transformation only comes from transforming mindsets and skill sets. That transformation comes from answering the question, why? Why do we do things this way? Why aren't we changing? Why don't we do things a different way? We hope Empower sparks those big ideas that help you transform your organization. And we also hope you find solutions that drive change both big and small. Because no visionary does it alone. You get those big ideas that move the needle, from others. That's why we're so excited to bring the Laserfiche community together here at Empower. Find anyone over the next 3 days and ask. They'll share how they use Laserfiche to develop new answers to old problems, how they were inspired to drive change, how they transform their organizations by thinking differently. At this morning's keynote, you'll hear from others just like you about how they made their visions reality. A civic leader, our product experts, and Laserfiche executives will share how embracing digital transformation can drive change. But don't keep those insights to yourself. For those of you who are on Twitter, make sure to share using this year's hashtag LFEmpower. Or share what you've learned on the official Empower app, which enables you to connect with the community of attendees right here in Long Beach. All of us at Laserfiche hope attending Empower inspires you to take your organization to new heights. Now, to kick things off, I'd like to welcome our first speaker. Chris Wacker is a technology entrepreneur and CEO of Laserfiche. As CEO, Chris sets Laserfiche's strategic vision and drives business growth. With 30 years of industry experience, Chris has seen it all, which gives him a unique perspective. Now, Chris is committed that every single Laserfiche user has an exceptional, distinctive experience. His dedication is inspired by you, by the Laserfiche community and your passion for efficiency and transformation. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Laserfiche CEO, Chris Wacker.
Thank you, Melissa. That's quite an intro. Good morning, and thank you for being here today at Empower 2018. Let me start by saying, above all, I believe in the importance of doing social good. What this means to me is for each of us to play in the community to fulfill our personal and professional obligations. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the importance of doing social good from a professional perspective. If you've chosen a life in public service, you know what it means to serve. In my experience, most professionals enter the public sector and remain there with the goal of improving the lives of the residents of their community. In higher education, you are helping young minds to develop critical judgment and passing on the accumulated knowledge of humanity to the next generation in the hope that they will do the same. For others in industry, you have the opportunity to help our community become stronger. The financial services world allocates capital to where it is most efficiently deployed and helps our community members to make money last a lifetime. Healthcare keeps our communities strong and healthy while remaining attentive to those in need. I believe all of us are here for the same purpose, to find new and innovative ways to use technology to make our organizations more efficient, smarter, and better able to serve our constituents, partners, and customers who depend on us. In this information age, it is apparent that one way to improve our performance and to remove the tedium and monotony from our daily processes is to assign those tasks to machines. In short, to develop vision and imagination for using the tools of Laserfiche. This is the reason why we do what we do, so you can find new and better ways to improve and serve. This is our mission, and more importantly, this is our passion. It is the driving force behind how we help you get the most out of your daily professional lives. At Empower 2017, we introduced the Laserfiche Digital Transformation Model to help guide your organization through the digitization and automation processes. This year, we have elaborated on the Laserfiche Digital Transformation Model and have added more tools to enable your organization to do more and more quickly. For a number of years, we have worked with an organization that has embraced the Laserfiche Digital Transformation Model to deliver small miracles for the community it serves. As you will see, their primary way of serving is to provide educational methodology and support to autistic children and their families. Let's take a look.
We work with kids with developmental disabilities. Kids with an autism diagnosis tend to have delays across the board, especially in social domains. Probably the easiest way to describe what we do is that we teach kids to be kids.
Being an autism family, it comes with your ups and your downs, and we need a lot of support and a lot of intervention and a lot of help.
I've noticed a lot of behavior changes for the good. His vocabulary has been growing so much. Everything he's learning, he's applying, and it's thanks to learning arts.
The work we do is very data intensive. You don't get into fields like this because you have a passion for data. You want to play with the kids, you want to do the interventions, you want learning to be constant. And the bottleneck to that is the analysis of the data. And you lose all that learning time. But now, that process, which sometimes took a half a day, is now done instantaneously. With Laserfiche, it's all done for you.
Now with Laserfiche, his specialist can see in real time what programs he's working on, what he's doing that day, and even what he's currently working on in the moment, because the techs can enter in information and plug it in, and it'll pop up on her computer in real time.
Now we can look at everything. We can look at antecedents, we can look at time of day, we can look at whether it's a school day or not, we can look at who was doing the intervention, what time the intervention was done. Having it just in a table right before you it's like data ambrosia.
They were able to bring him out of that shell and give us our little one back. And with Laserfiche, they're able to do it a lot faster.
It means so much when my son is able to tell me, "I love you, Mama," because I didn't think I would hear those words from him.
We get into this field because we want to change the lives of kids. And that kind of tool that has that great of impact, it has been life-changing.
Incredible. What Learning Arts has done is to make their passion for helping children easier to accomplish by removing the process barriers and allowing them to focus on the children and their families. The results come faster, and they can deliver on the promise of helping the kids, and they have access to data in ways they never could before, enabling them to recognize learning patterns. And the real-world impact of what they do is delivered much better through the use of Laserfiche process automation. Ladies and gentlemen of Empower, seeing how you use Laserfiche to make a difference fuels our passion. And we infuse this passion and understanding into every aspect of what we do as a company. Soon you will hear from Carl and the product team about our exciting new products and our future direction to deliver increased value to your community. This year, we are focusing on the more advanced stages of automation to accelerate your successes. I have seen many Empower conferences, but never have I been more excited and optimistic about our collective future. I see a world where each of you is empowered to create your organization's vision of doing social good. This is a world we can build together, a world made up of our collective vision and thought processes. It is a world that we all aspire to live in. I appreciate each of you investing your time here today. It is a testament to how committed you are to your organization's digital transformation and success. So let's get started, and welcome to Empower. To begin, we have a representative from the city of Long Beach who has, through creative thinking, effective police work, and Laserfiche technology, virtually eliminated gang activity in Long Beach. Doug Halbert, the Long Beach City prosecutor and a devoted public servant, is credited with architecting this new and effective approach to gang suppression. He is here to tell us more about it and to share his vision for the future of Long Beach. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to City Prosecutor Doug Halbert.
I remember the incident as if it was yesterday. It was Wilson High School's homecoming football game against crosstown rival Pauley High School. It was the day before Halloween, so students dressed up in costumes. It was a sold-out crowd. And although Wilson lost to Pauley, it didn't dampen the spirits of the students. And when the game ended, a sold-out game, the crowd started to dissipate and leave the stadium, going to the sidewalk immediately outside the football arena. It was at that time a young man named Tommy Vincent, a gang member, came across two people that he perceived as a gang rival. He passed them at first and turned around, and they exchanged words that amounted to a threat. And Tommy Vincent took out a gun, and he fired at least 3 times. And we know he fired at least 3 times because he struck each one of his gang rivals once. And a third bullet missed them entirely and entered the body of a young 16-year-old girl named Melody Ross, ending her life. Now, Melody Ross was not gang involved in any way, shape, or form. She was a young Cambodian American. Her family left the killing fields of Cambodia to come here to Long Beach to find a better life. She was an honor student. She was on the track team. She was the pole vaulter on the track team. Just 16 years old. Died that night from gang violence. It was the night before Halloween when Melody Ross died. She died wearing a Supergirl costume. It was the first time her family had let her go to a football game because it was homecoming and the night before Halloween. Well, that event, as tragic as it was, of course, woke a number of us up and made us think about the gang problem here in Long Beach in new ways. The city of Long Beach has had court orders against our gangs for many, many years, 15 years prior to my election. But those court orders were simply pieces of paper that were stored somewhere at City Hall or given to a handful of gang detectives who were asked to enforce those gang court orders. Some of the gang members would crumple them up and throw them on the ground after they were served because they knew the police department did not have an effective way of enforcing those gang court orders. Until after my election, when one gang detective had the idea, why don't we gather the information in a court order? What the terms of the court order are. Gang members can't congregate in public. They can't be there late at night. There's a curfew involved. They can't display gang signs or symbols. They can't be in the presence of anyone displaying gang signs or symbols. It was a very burdensome order, but it wasn't being enforced. And he said, what if we took that order, using Laserfiche and partnering with Laserfiche, made it available not just to gang detectives, but to all patrol officers in the city of Long Beach, so that from their police unit they could quickly identify who's on the injunction, what the terms are, what area it applies to, even have the most recent booking photo of the gang members who have been served on the injunction. What we saw is that in a very short period of time, the number of gang court order arrests dramatically increased, and the amount of gang-related crime dramatically decreased. The chart you're looking at right now shows a glimpse of what happened. From 2009, the year before I was elected, we arrested people for violating the gang injunctions, a total of 35 people that year. The next year it was 140 people. The year after that, 181. The year after that, 269. That's a 760% increase in gang court order arrests. And it did not happen because we had more police on the streets. In fact, during this period of time, the number of police officers in the Long Beach Police Department dropped by 20%. It's amazing to think that we could have that kind of increase in productivity with 20% fewer officers. The media took notice. The media actually talked about this and gave Laserfiche the credit. Using Laserfiche, officers could share information with one another, enforce the gang injunction, and it reduced in 1 year, from 2009 to 2010, it reduced all gang-related shootings by over 13% and gang-related murders by over 50%. Amazing success. I want to take a moment right now to thank the men and women of Laserfiche and the Long Beach Police Department for an incredible success that resulted not just in immediate reduction in violence, but last year, 2017, Long Beach had the lowest number of gang-related murders and the lowest number of total murders in the last 50 years here in Long Beach. So thank you, Laserfiche. Join me in giving them applause. The other thing that our great success with our gang suppression strategy did was it gave us the opportunity to focus on the gang problem from a holistic approach. You know, our success in fighting gangs gave us the opportunity to look at why people join gangs to begin with. We could focus on intervention efforts now. We could focus on rehabilitation efforts. When a gang member is ready to leave the gang life, we need to be there ready to help them. And it was only because of our successful relationship with Laserfiche we were able to do this. You know, at this conference, you're going to hear a lot about people saving money. You're going to hear about people saving time. The city of Long Beach is here to tell you Laserfiche has helped us save lives. We're very, very proud of that. You know, we also took time to look at the gang problem from a systemic point of view. Gang members change after they join the gang. There's a change in how they look. The number of tattoos they have change. The people are not the same as the gang consumes them. That told us we have to get to them before they get involved in gangs. What if you could go back in time? What if you could go back in time to the person's moment when they left school or dropped out? What if you could go back further to the point that they started skipping school in 4th and 5th grade, which resulted in the dropout? What if you could go back and provide services at the earliest point of time? You know, in my 8 years as city prosecutor, I've learned a lot. Although we have an adversarial system where two sides square off against each other, and we call that, the outcome of that we call justice. I learned that the defendant most often is not the enemy. I do prosecute violent gang members, but I also prosecute a lot of people that just made a mistake, were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and did the wrong thing. They're not the real enemy. The real enemy is drug addiction. It's alcoholism. The real enemy is undiagnosed or untreated mental disease. The real enemy is poverty. It's unemployment. It's lack of education. It's illiteracy. It's exposure to trauma at early ages. We started to think, what if we use that same concept of pushing information to patrol officers? What if we use that same strategy to empower them to provide services to people that need it the most? What if we could empower police officers at the moment they encounter someone to offer services, to connect that person to mental health assistance, to stabilize that person on medication, take them to a substance abuse clinic where they can get checked in immediately for live-in drug treatment or outpatient treatment if they need it? What if we could do that? I think we could transform the way police do business. I think we could produce better results, and I think we could lower crime here in Long Beach. Policing would look very different if we were able to do this. We're trying to do that here in Long Beach, and I hope to do it with Laserfiche in the future. You know, it's been said that the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. We all know the day we were born, we celebrate it annually. How many of us know our why? It was a tragic event that helped me learn my why. Let this conference be the moment in time where you find out your reason if you don't already have one. Or it's okay if your reason changes over time, but I'm here for a reason. I know that. Chris Wacker is here for a reason. You are here for a reason. Let this be the time and place. Let Long Beach be the location. Let Laserfiche Empower be the moment where you explore and develop and improve your why. Thank you very much. You have your own?
Thanks, Doug. You know, Doug came to our office a few months ago to share this story with us. After hearing from him, we were so inspired that we knew we had to bring him here to share his story with all of you. We hope you were equally inspired by Doug's story, because Doug is a perfect example of thinking differently, of driving change, of using technology to make his vision a reality. He's transformed the way things have always been done. That's our mission at Laserfiche, to help you work smarter, to do more of the work that matters, to take your visions of digital transformation and make them a reality. Our next speaker lives that mission. He's spent his entire career developing the solutions that help you drive digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Laserfiche President and CTO, Carl Chan.
Good morning, everyone. I believe that the power of digital transformation lies in the hands of everyone. That change can originate from anywhere within an organization. That lasting innovation can emerge from grassroots efforts. Traditionally, organizational transformation originates from the top, but digital transformation can be different. Today, technology is more accessible to everyone. Our workforce is more tech-savvy. People already share information through communities of interest. New apps and productivity tools pop up every day. Pew Research reported that close to 70% of office workers say that the internet is important for doing their job, and that 46% of adults saw that the internet made them more productive. This is a democratization of technology. And when individuals introduce technology to improve their business, we have the start of grassroots digital transformation. Grassroots change is sticky. Harvard Business Review reported that grassroots change has a better chance of success. Grassroots change is initiated from deep within the organization, often from managers who are closer to the problem, comfortable with technology, and not afraid of challenging the status quo. And the solutions are focused on results. Initiatives that start out this way are more likely to stick because managers have already bought into the idea. In another workplace study, nearly half of respondents said that they use apps for work that are not sanctioned by IT. This includes cloud storage, chat services, note-taking, project tracking apps. This presents an interesting paradox for management because grassroots change is bottom-up. Who is leading whom? Grassroots solution is also very organic. They can take a long time to move through an organization. Is this truly transformative? Moreover, these solutions may challenge an organization's existing security policies, overall IT strategies, and can cause organizational chaos. How do we make this strategic? So, how should organizations handle grassroots change? I believe that we should encourage grassroots change, quickly recognize when it's happening, and shepherd those ideas to align it with company objectives. In short, transformative change can be grassroots-led, but must be management-supported. This is why we deploy software that empowers everyone in the organization to initiate grassroots transformation. This is the goal for the Laserfiche platform. Throughout Empower, you will discover updates to Laserfiche that support grassroots change. But right now, I want to focus on 3 exciting areas. The first is mobile. The Laserfiche mobile app gives us access to documents on the go. In addition to searching for your documents in the folders, documents that have geographic information can now be overlaid on top of a map. With our location-aware Laserfiche app, searching for documents is as easy as arriving on location. Second are the updates we've made to workflow. We've completely redesigned Laserfiche workflow. It's 100% web-based, and it's amazing. It's easier for everyone to create workflows and to manage complex logic in a simple fashion. Third is analytics. We have improved our analytics to help you quickly identify issues and then to have the right tools to diagnose that problem, to move quickly to a solution. I've asked the product experts to join us on stage to dive deeper in each of these topics. So let's get started. Please join me in welcoming Tricia Swift from our mobile team.
Thank you, Carl. To me, digital transformation is a lifestyle change. Enabling your staff to work outside the office requires more than installing the Laserfiche device on their app on their devices. It's about helping them get work done efficiently wherever they are. Earlier, we heard from Doug about how Long Beach police officers are using Laserfiche to keep the streets of Long Beach safe. Now, they can access case files right from their patrol cars. And even more exciting, with the new Maps feature, they can search for these documents by location. Let me give you an example. Let's say a patrol officer gets a disturbance call. On the way to the call, the officer can quickly run a search on this area and instantly have associated case files for that area. This allows real-time access to the files they need. It's a great example of how digital transformation is changing Long Beach right here. But let's see how this can work for you, even when you're not in a police car. So, by applause, how many are visiting California today? Okay, there's quite a few of us. I'm new to California, so I've been using my phone a lot, searching for directions and finding information about businesses in the area. Many of you are doing the same thing with your phones while you're here at Empower, because we've become so comfortable performing these types of searches that it's almost second nature to us, and we can now use that same type of search with the new Laserfiche maps. Many organizations have documents that they associate to a location. So how useful and convenient would it be to visually search and access these documents by location also? The patrol officer scenario is just one example of this. Another example could be a city inspector who might want to perform a search based on the area they're actually in, to automatically search for repair documents, schematics, or utility permits while they're out in the area. Higher education employees might want to use it to search for things like personnel documents, student files, or maintenance logs by a city, a school district, a single school, or even a particular building within a school. But now I want to demonstrate this feature to you, using your very own use cases. I'd like each of you to visualize a scenario when you wanted to search for a document based on a particular location. Using the Laserfiche mobile app, we'll select Maps and search for our document by location. As we zoom in, you'll notice that our results are being grouped by pins. We also notice we have a lot of documents associated to this area. So let's refine our search a little further by location and a keyword. For this experiment, we're going to use the keyword mobile. And now let's see what we get. A handful of pictures of Empower attendees just like yourselves working from their mobile devices. It really is as simple as that. Another feature we use a lot on our device is our camera. I use my camera a lot for work, capturing receipts, meeting notes, or special documents from pages in a book that I want to share, send, or archive for future use. So let's take our previous scenario of looking for documents by location and expand upon it. We're going to use our camera this time. We're going to take a picture, and now we're going to save it to the repository. And now we're going to associate it to this location we're in. Notice with the geotag location feature enabled, the application has auto-filled our current address into the location description for us. And now let's go see if our document has been associated. And there it is at the top of the list, the document that was created and associated to this very location. We believe the mobile applications you use on the go for business should be no different than the business applications you're familiar with in your office or in your favorite consumer apps. Because using Laserfiche Map Search means you can easily access relevant data that you want no matter where you are. If you're looking to embrace a digital transformation lifestyle, Laserfiche app really is an ideal tool because it offers convenience, accessibility, and ease of use. So you can access Laserfiche anywhere your job takes you. But mobile is only one way you're transforming your organizations. Automating processes has a large part to play also. And I'd like to welcome Greg Eisenberg to the stage.
Thanks, Tricia. It's mobile. It's awesome to see the changes we're making in our mobile application. And it's great to be here at Empower 2018. Process automation is a critical step in the digital transformation. It's what allows you to get work done in an efficient, repeatable, and fail-safe way. Laserfiche's products have been helping you do that for years. But we're working on making process automation even better. I imagine there's a few of you out there who've made a workflow or two. Probably you've used conditional branching clauses to capture complex logic, like approval decision logic for contract management or purchase approvals. Perhaps your workflow looks a little like this. This workflow outlines the paths of approvals required to sign off on a purchase. Can't you see the logic? Let's take a closer look. If this purchase was for a one-time purchase and the price was under $5,000, then Tom approves. But if the purchase was greater than or equal to $5,000, then Richard approves. However, had this been for a subscription service or repeated purchases, then there are different rules. There's some rules for when the purchase was up to 1 year of subscription services, and other rules for when there's more than 1 year of subscription services. So while it's very impressive that Laserfiche workflow can capture this complex business logic in a workflow, we want to make it better. What if it was easier to see the logic? What if it was easier to test the logic and you didn't have to run the entire workflow to test it? What if changing the rules of approval or who was required to approve something didn't require somebody who was well-versed in workflow to make the changes? Ultimately, the logic here is not that complicated, and it could be captured in a table format. This is a decision table. Decision tables process sets of inputs, apply sets of rules, and return a set of outputs. They're designed to capture if-then logic in an easy-to-use table format. Decision tables are a standard. They have special features that handle when multiple rules match, or when multiple outputs are desired, or when the set you have to match is a complex input set. This decision table actually captures the same information, the same paths of approval that the original workflow did. There is an input field called one-time purchase, which could be either true or false, and that handles the one-time purchase or the subscription services. There's another input field called one-time purchase price, which is used when it's a one-time purchase and is not used when it's a subscription service. You can see that Rule 1 would apply if it was a one-time purchase and the price was less than $5,000, and Rule 2 would apply if the price was greater than $5,000. You can also see how the logic continues for subscription services or repeated purchases. All the logic is contained together in one decision table. A big advantage of removing this logic from the workflow and bringing it to a table is that now somebody in your organization who understands your organization's policy and rules can own this decision logic. They don't need to know anything about workflow. They don't even need to know which workflows it may be used in. Another big advantage is that we can test this much easier. We don't have to run the entire workflow. We can simply test the decision table. So, if we wanted to be sure our logic was correct, if we wanted to be sure that a subscription service for 3 years at $100 a month would apply the right rule, we can use our testing feature. And then we can easily see that Rule 6 applies. Now our author of our decision table can try to test their logic over and over, and they don't need a workflow specialist to help them. So now that we have our decision table, let's see what it would be like if we added it back to our workflow. That's a much simpler workflow to work with. But really, this is just the start. Decision tables are one example of what we call business rules. Business rules allow you to encapsulate your organization's policy logic into reusable components. Business rules can be used in workflows, forms, and other features in the future. In today's current Laserfiche products, if you had to capture that purchase logic in a form and a workflow, you'd have to codify it twice. With business rules, you can write the rule once, and use it many places. Let's take a look. This form is designed to allow for ad hoc material purchases. It relies on the same business rule, the same decision table that we've seen prior. As the user enters their data, it uses the business rule as a lookup, and it can show the answer to the user. Sharing policy logic and separating it from the inner workings of a workflow or a form is what business rules enable. Now let's imagine months go by and the rules have changed, or perhaps the person who handles the approvals is no longer there. You don't need to edit both the form and the workflow. You just update the business rule. So Richard's no longer there or doesn't handle the approvals any longer. Now Tim does. We update our table, save, publish, and we're done. All places that are using this business rule will now be using the updated logic. All of these process automation improvements and more are coming to the Laserfiche cloud this year. In fact, what you saw was our new web-based workflow designer, our business rules editor, and improved forms. If you have any questions on what you've seen, please swing by the info center. Process automation is one critical step in the digital transformation, and it's one step we're working hard to make better. But we're working hard to make all the steps better. So to discuss some of the improvements we're making in reporting and analytics, please welcome Jared Recknitz.
Thanks, Greg. I'm excited to be back again today to talk about how transforming your processes can transform your organization. The final phase of digital transformation is all about collecting data from the past and the present and using it to shape your future. When we spoke about reporting and analytics last year at Empower, most of the discussion was about direction, how we've been working to empower you with the tools you need to transform your processes so your organization can run as efficiently as possible. Our big announcement last year was that when you upgrade to the latest version of Laserfiche, as long as you have workflow, you get forms for free. It doesn't even matter what licensing model you're on. We made this change because we believe access to forms and our new reporting and analytics tools are extremely important to how you will run your business going forward. If you haven't yet upgraded and you don't have forms, start thinking about how data collection, process automation, and process reporting can help make a difference in your business. Hopefully, you'll get a few ideas this morning. Over the last year, we've continued to improve the experience you will have with reporting and analytics. Now, it's much simpler to get started, so you can benefit from data-driven insights without a team of business analysts working with you. The step-by-step report creation process guides you to a simple chart where you choose the variables you want to report on. Once you've configured your reports, you can view them live in real time, or take snapshots to save the current reports, enabling you to compare your snapshots and decipher trends over time. Using forms to collect data has never been easier, but that's only the first half of phase 5. Next, we need a way to use that data we've collected to actually transform our processes, and that's where analytics come in. The first new piece of analytics incorporates machine learning to help managers see which tasks are most likely to be overdue. Every manager would love to dream that no tasks would ever be completed past their due date, but delays happen. Task overdue prediction will use a bunch of data from a process's history to calculate a percentage likelihood that any given task will be overdue. Managers can then use these insights to alert the assigned person or assign more resources to a task to make sure no important tasks are left undone. Analytics are all about taking preemptive action and shaping your future, and this is the first step in helping your organization do that. Everything I've spoken about so far is already waiting for you in the latest release, and you can get it as soon as you leave Empower. Now, let's look ahead to the future to hear about some of the new stuff you can expect. On the reporting side, we are developing advanced process health metrics to monitor how well your business processes are performing. This process reporting will evolve into a new out-of-the-box reports. We'll be introducing these pre-configured reports that give details about how much work is in the pipeline at any given time, the speed of your processes and how they change over time, the workload each team member has, and even some performance health metrics. Looking into two of these reports in a little more detail, we can see the speed chart of all the completed processes, how long they took, and how the average completion time changed over the course of a year. We can also take a look at the work in progress chart, showing the flow of submissions through their life cycles, as well as a projected forecast of what is likely to come. Looking a little further into the future, we'll continue to expand that reporting functionality. Laserfiche is developing a new search reporting tool that will support reporting on data from across your Laserfiche system, including repository metadata fields, document text, workflow processes, and forms data. This drag and drop tool will allow you to design the report however you'd like, drag more fields on for comparison, even add calculations, forecasts, advanced analytics, all to help decipher data trends. This unified reporting tool will have a wider scoped and higher level reporting and a much easier to use experience. A year ago today, I took this very stage and talked about a handful of ways Laserfiche would try and help you bring your organizations into the fifth and highest phase of the digital transformation model. After the year that's gone by, I'm excited with the progress we've made, and I can't wait to see what else we can accomplish in the year to come. Now, before Carl returns with the exciting developments coming up for Laserfiche, please welcome Robert Esquivel from Epson.
Not working? There you go. I'd first like to thank Chris Wacker, the executive team, marketing, and the entire Laserfiche organization. Epson is proud to be the premier sponsor of Empower 2018. This is our 7th year in a row as a premier sponsor, and we thank Laserfiche for their partnership in helping provide the community with the broadest range of Laserfiche-compatible desktop scanners in the business today. This has contributed to Epson becoming the fastest growing brand of document scanners and the second largest brand in volume in the United States. We have 13 different models to choose from, one of which we have right here. Our product management is holding. 25 page per minute mobile scanners, a 65-page work group. All models come with a 3-year free overnight replacement. And some of you may not know that Epson is the only brand producing professional quality photo scanners that are used by libraries, museums, and even crime labs. Anywhere only the highest image quality can do. We invite you to come by our booth and visit with us. Again, my name is Robert S. I manage the Western region. My counterpart is Bill Gates. It is Bill Gates. You come by and get his business card. And the entire Epson team to talk about our scanners and how we can integrate them with a complete, flawless solution running Laserfiche software. As we say, choose wisely, choose Epson. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. What we've talked about will definitely help take your transformation to the next level. But now I want to bring up something that we're working on that can push it even further: robotics. No, not those robots. Not those robots. Definitely not those robots. What I'm talking about is software robots. These are programs that reside on our computers, and they can be taught to aid in repetitive work. They can search for information and do simple data entry. This is robotic process automation. To share more about the future of robotic process automation, please welcome to the stage Justin Pava.
Thanks, Carl. Good morning, Empower. It's great to be back up here. Today, I want to talk with you about your technology ecosystem. While I live and breathe Laserfiche, I expect for you, it's just one of many applications that you use every day. And it's more and more critical that all of these different applications interact with each other. As Carl mentioned, robotic process automation is the next generation automation solution. It works by training software robots to complete repetitive manual work that a human would normally have to do. Think about what you and your employees could accomplish if you didn't have to spend time on tasks like manual data entry. So what does this have to do with your technology ecosystem? Well, you'll be able to train robots to open emails and attachments, log into applications, move files and folders, copy and paste data, fill in forms, and that's just a start. Robotic process automation builds on the automation power of Laserfiche Connector. Connector allows you to create integrations with third-party applications without programming knowledge or access to third-party APIs. Connector can be thought of as the first phase of robotic automation. It ties your applications together and launches processes with the push of a button. But now, let's get rid of that button. A key aspect of robotic process automation is autonomy. The bots will be able to monitor services, such as your email inbox, and initiate tasks without requiring a person to manually start a process. For example, the bot could watch for emails that contain spreadsheets of information that need to be updated in multiple systems. Currently, this is a manual process of copying the same information over and over from one place to another to another. The bot will detect these emails, open up their attachments to extract the data, and use that to update all the different systems at once. What was previously a time-consuming and error-prone task has now been completed without any human involvement. You can even use bots for tasks you may not have even considered possible because they are so labor and time-intensive. Take checking a website for changes every minute. That's not anything you'd expect a staff member to do, but a bot will do so easily. Even better, it can alert you the moment it picks up a change. You will be able to launch the robots from Laserfiche Workflow. Then manual steps in your workflow can be 100% automated. You would be able to monitor and track activity as it scales across your organization. So how will you actually set up a robot to mimic your actions? You won't need to be a developer or a programmer to create the bots. We'll be launching a robot designer. This will allow you to simply press a record button to teach the bots the necessary steps. everyone can create their own bots. These bots link applications together, reduce errors, cut costs, and speed up process completion time. These bots will be your team of virtual workers, mimicking the actions of your employees and freeing them up to work on more challenging and interesting tasks. In the next phase of robotic process automation, we'll be adding in machine learning capabilities, allowing for more intelligent bots that can recognize patterns over time. Every time a decision or a problem requires human assistance, the bot learns, so it can act autonomously if the situation happens again. Machine learning enables bots to interpret data at a deeper level, provide recommendations, and make intelligent decisions. This data can then be used to create reports that extract meaningful insights, which you can use to better understand and improve business performance. We're excited to bring robotic process automation into our technology ecosystem and look forward to bringing it to you in the near future. Look out for more information as we continue to develop robotic process automation, and come by our kiosk at the Information Center to learn more and see a demo. And now, for a few closing remarks, please welcome Carl back to the stage.
What we've seen today is how you can increase the velocity of digital transformation by making technology more accessible. With technology at your fingertips, we have the tools to be a visionary. For the next few days, I want you to think about how you would use these tools when you get back to the office Monday. Have a great week at Empower.